Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for today's episode of Paving the Way Forward. I'm so pleased and honored to be your host. I'm your Radio Love Asia with Urban One and Radio One DC. So today we have some very great guests joining us to talk to you a little bit about why credit is very important. So joining us today is the Vice President of Program Management and Education, Barry Coleman. We also have Hermond Palmer joining us. He's the Vice President of Outreach and Inclusion for the National Foundation of Credit Counseling. We have Barbara BJ Beaman. She's the Financial Wellness Program Manager for Family Foundations of Northwest Florida Incorporated. And we have Letania Gonzales joining us from the Housing Outreach Manager for Freddie Mac. Thank you all so much for joining me today. How are you?
Doing well. Thank you for having us.
Yes. This is such a great subject, okay? This is something that everybody needs to know about. We're so very pleased and honored to talk about this today. It's all being brought to you by the National Foundation for Credit Counseling. And so we're just going to jump right into the conversations. How about that?
Sounds good.
All right, Hermond, love your name, by the way. Listen, the National Foundation for Credit Counseling's goal is a faith-based alliance. Tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. Thank you, Asia. And I want to say thanks to Urban One for this wonderful opportunity. The goal of this effort is to create a substantial, sustainable, faith-based local engagement initiative that is made up of organizations and institutions who are willing to undertake and make a long-term commitment to enriching low to moderate income communities, underserved communities, as well as communities of color by empowering them with the knowledge, skills, and resources necessary for them to thrive and achieve sustainable financial independence now and in the future.
Right.
The intent is to develop basically resources and confidence and knowledge on how best to go forward.
Okay, great. Now, what is the NFCC's role in the development of the faith-based alliance?
So we're charged with organizing it. This was a result of a panel discussion we had at our NFCC Connect conference, where I called together a non-traditional panel that had representatives from Freddie Mac, from the president of Johnson C. Smith University, as well as the pastor of Mount Zion Baptist Church of Philadelphia. And when I saw the power of that group, I realized that there was something special there. It is important that we pull together resources in a way that are achievable and attainable for the community, to inspire confidence and knowledge. And so that's what we're going at.
Okay, thank you. We also, like I said, we have Barry Coleman joining us today. Barry, talk to us a little bit about what type of counseling support should participants expect from a faith-based alliance?
Sure, I'd be happy to. So counseling clients should expect one-to-one personalized counseling services from an NFCC member counseling agency participating in this alliance. All counseling sessions are completely confidential and always tailored to the goals and objectives of the clients. So counselors typically will review the client's income, their debts, their living expenses, and help them to develop a detailed action plan, which offers recommendations and next steps that align with the client's own goals and objectives. And, it's really about the client and meeting them where they are in their financial journey and helping them to get to where it is they'd like to go in that journey.
Okay, so you start from like the ground up. So you're talking
Yes.
about someone who knows nothing about credit whatsoever to someone who deems himself like a credit expert but still don't quite know what they're doing, right?
Yes, that's correct. So people typically come to us because they have some sort of financial goal or objective, or they may be experiencing some financial pain point. So it all starts with, the reason that they come to us, and then through our analysis of their current situation, we can tailor the counseling to suit their needs and help develop a plan to, again, get them to where they'd like to be.
Right. Because credit is important for everything now. I mean, some places won't even hire you if you have bad credit. So, I mean, you need credit for an apartment, you need credit to buy a vehicle, credit for a home. It's essential
Absolutely.
in every aspect of life nowadays. So This is an amazing program. How does the NFCC interact with its member agencies?
So the NFCC provides support to our member agencies that are providing these services. We also recruit member agencies that are in our communities of focus to be a part of the program.
Okay.
We see the faith-based alliance really as a way to reach those in all communities. Some that may have been, overlooked by, other organizations and did not have access to these types of services in the past.
Right. Okay. We also have joining us today, BJ Beaman. How are you, BJ?
I am great. How are you?
I'm fine. Talk to us a little bit about how the NFCC member agencies feel about the faith-based alliance.
On a personal note, I was a new employee to the membership that was already with NFCC. And at the conference last year, when I attended the panel that Hermond is referring to, I felt like it was the secret ingredient that most of the agencies could use. Because we know that, especially in the African American community, if it came from the shepherd, if the shepherd signed it, then it has some sustainability to it, that it has some meat to it. But it also gives us the opportunity to go touch those who most of the time do not understand that the resources are here for them too.
Right.
As Barry said, we provide not just to low to moderate, but to you. And so I felt like this gave us an opportunity to touch a group that we usually are not able to touch.
Right. To allow people from all over to have access.
Yeah.
If you're just joining us, you are watching Paving the Way Forward. It is brought to you by the NFCC, the National Foundation of Credit Counseling. And we would love for you to call if you need more information at 1-833-691-6299. Again, that number is 833-631-6299. Or we'll give you the website throughout the program. I'm your host, your Radio Love Asia from Urban One, and we're going to continue the conversation. Again, we were talking to BJ Beaman. She was explaining to us a little bit more about why the NFCC, or how the NFCC member agencies feel about the faith-based alliance, and you shared your personal perspective. Share with us how the company as a whole deals with that.
The agencies that I do talk to, they are excited about it. I know when I brought it back to our agency and our leadership and to the staff, they were excited about it. So it's one of those situations, it gives us an opportunity to create that community and that collaboration within the agencies and then to our community partners and churches.
Great, that's awesome. Now, what should people expect when contacting an agency through the NFCC Faith-Based Alliance program?
I would say an agency that has the desire to help you figure out what next is for you. As you said, credit is important, but some people may not even be at the point of looking at credit. So I like to say, as agencies, we should meet the clients and the participants where they are. So that's the first thing, finding out where they are and then developing that roadmap to what is next.
Right.
Can I add something to that?
Yes, I was actually going to say, I see you chiming in. Please share.
Absolutely. A lot of times people are fearful of being judged, of what does this say about me? Here's the thing. It's not about being judged. This is a supportive, encouraging, uplifting experience. Think about it. You're in trouble, and now you're being connected to resources that help you to better navigate that trouble, to achieve a better financial outcome. So it's judgment free, and you should feel empowered. You should feel relieved. You should feel committed and excited that, man, now I have a solution in my life that could transform my life for the better. So,
yeah.
Yes.
And I'd also like to add, finances are important to everyone's life. In order to live a prosperous life, a life where you're taking care of yourself and your family, finances are vital. And so from that perspective, sometimes people need help You know, if it's not with their finances, it's with something else. Everybody
Right.
needs help with something
Right.
at some point in their
Right.
life. And so we encourage people, you know, we are not, we do not judge anyone. You know, everyone's welcome. And our goal is really to help people. And, you know, those of us that work in this industry, we really have the desire to help people and we have the heart to help people. And that's why we do it. So we want people to feel comfortable when they come to us. You know, we're not going to judge you. Our goal is to help you.
Right.
Everybody knows somebody that needs help. Everybody knows somebody in their family, maybe themselves, where it's like, man, I really wish I would have had access to X. Yeah. This is one of the ways you can get access to that X.
Right, right. I definitely hear the passion. I hear the passion from each and every one of you. So this is a labor of love, and it's clear. So we appreciate you for doing all of this. Hermond, you seem to be very, very passionate about the subject. Is there something that, or someone in your life that made you say, I need to do something to create a program like this?
It was, well, in my life, my father was killed on his job when I was 10. Oh, wow. And I was 10, my brother and sister were 5. And so my mom she had 3 kids under 10 in the Bronx having to navigate forward. Now, fortunately, we were blessed she was good with money. Right. So she was able to do that. But, you know, every month she would spread our bills out on the table, and seeing her have to deal with that let me know how important dealing with your personal finances were. Because if you miss the payment, the lights go off, or the heat goes off, or there's no water, or you have to leave that house. And so, frankly, as a kid, I was always stressed about money. And I made a commitment to myself and my future family. I will always make sure we are tight as it relates to personal finances. And I remember that feeling. It wasn't comfortable and it wasn't pleasant. And I don't think any child should ever have to deal with that. I don't think any adult should have to deal with that. Unfortunately, they don't teach financial literacy in school. Right. So you gotta be proactive and learn that on your own. And if you are a child and your parents don't know how to better manage their finances, you know, we follow the patterns that we're exposed to as a child. So we gotta know so that we can teach the next generation. My job is to work for the NFCC. My mission is to lay the foundation for future millionaires. I'm building the platform that will be the springboard for future millionaires.
Yes, and breaking the cycle. I love that. I love that, and that's why I hear the passion in your voice, in all of your voices. So thank you again, Letania. We have Letania Gonzales also here with us today. What attracted Freddie Mac to the NFCC Faith-Based Alliance?
Thank you so much. This is just another opportunity for us to help close the wealth gap. And when I say the wealth gap, I'm going to say the racial wealth gap, and show families how to create equity with their homes, how to create better credit profiles, how to actually leverage the financial system in their favor. Because a lot of times we silently suffering, or suffering in silence. And Hermond said it, you know, BJ Barry, there is a stigma sometimes around not knowing. Right. People are scared. They don't know where to turn, how to, you know, just start. They may have the desire to build wealth, but they really just don't know what the tools are, the advisors. And, you know, Hermond definitely hit a chord with me. I didn't have those models in my life. Right. I had to bump my head a couple of times, figure it out on my own. You know, have people kind of, you feel like they're looking down on you. And you really just, you want help. And it's like a company like Freddie Mac, we're a secondary mortgage company. We buy loans from the primary market so that we can establish more equity in the market, more liquidity rather in the market, so more families can build wealth. But you can't get to that point if you don't know how. So programs like, you know, the Faith-Based Alliance, it's simple. It makes it accessible. It gives pastors the knowledge that they need to help their flocks, because they can't be expected to know all. Right. And
so a lot of people were affected, of course, from the global pandemic, right? There were a lot of programs in place. I'm a homeowner myself. My father, who is my hero, you know, he made me buy my first home at the age of 22. And it's like I say it's like getting a tattoo. You just have to get another one and another one. I don't have any tattoos, by the way, but
Hey, that's legacy building right there.
Yes.
You just have to get another one and another one. So at one point, I find myself, this is my personal testimony, I found myself what you call house poor, because I had so many properties. I needed all of my tenants to make sure that it was running smoothly. And so when one person deviates from what you have planned out, the whole thing falls down like a Jenga block. So I found myself having to start all over again. But luckily, during the pandemic, I did find different programs in place, much like the NFCC, to say, hey, you know what, you can defer these payments, you can put them on the back end. From my own personal experience, I know that I would have very much so loved to have had access to a program like this, to know that there was an agency out there that could say, let me walk you through this. Let me show you how to fix this. So my next question is, so someone who has has a little bit of knowledge about how important credit is and has a little bit of kind of like their own personal history, where is it that, or how could you help someone that would have been in a situation much like mine?
Yeah, I'll start. So one thing that's great about our member agencies is that they're located in communities across the country.
Right.
And many of them have relationships and they're plugged into various resources that are in local communities. And so in addition to providing counseling and education, we can also connect consumers to those local resources because our agencies are there on the ground. They know what programs are available. They know what other assistance is available. It could be anything such as, food resources, other, government types of programs, legal assistance. All of those things are part of our referral networks at the local agency level. And so having that connection there, we're able to at least guide people in the right directions and refer them to other resources that can help them.
Right. I love that. And what about first-time home buyers? Do you have access to those programs as well?
Absolutely. Yeah, we're plugged in to many of those first-time home buyer programs, many of which have down payment assistance and other types of resources to help people. And we can help, direct folks in the right direction towards their journey of owning a home.
Go ahead.
Part of what we do also is to build programs to help promote the notion of home ownership. Think about it like this. There are families that for the entire lifetime of the grandparents and the mother and father, they've lived in apartments. So all they know is to live in an apartment. And there's nothing wrong with that. Because when the light bulb goes out, I call the super. When the heat goes off, I call the super. But it does not allow you to accumulate or build wealth, such as owning a home. When that property appreciates and you're a homeowner, that is money that you're getting. That is wealth that you're developing. When you're renting and the property appreciates, that's wealth the landlord realizes. You don't. And so what we're seeing play out in the marketplace now is that rents are going up significantly. In some cases, 30%. That might be $300 a month. And so what that does is that takes money out of the pocket of the renters and makes it difficult for them to save for retirement, save for a college education, save for a rainy day, save for buying a house. But when you own your home, you have, say, for example, a fixed rate mortgage, you're pretty consistent on what your payments are going to be.
Right.
So what we do is we connect people and show them how they can get from renting to buying a home. And on the path, connect them with other resources to make that the slope of that mountain you think you have to come to reduce a little bit and turn that mountain into a molehill by down payment assistance, making sure you're comfortable and familiar with the terminology that's used. And if you run into difficulty, helping you to understand what options are available to you so that you don't have to panic and put your head in the ground like an ostrich. Because when you do that, you know what's exposed and life can't wait to come kick it.
Right. A lot of people don't even realize that buying a home is usually much cheaper than renting. It's usually a lot cheaper.
Yes.
I don't know. It depends on the area that you're in, but in most cases, your mortgage is significantly less because your landlord is trying to add on their mortgage plus make a little bit of profit.
Sure.
So,
And there are ways where if you tap into down payment assistance, I've seen scenarios where people have had rents that go to $1,200 and $1,500. They buy a home and they layer in different down payment assistance programs, and their mortgage is significantly less than that rent. It might be $900, it might be $800, as opposed to a $1,200 rent payment.
Exactly.
And Aisha, I would say a lot of times in the pre-purchase appointments that we do when we're meeting with the client, we show them that. We show them if you were to purchase a home, this is what your average mortgage would be, and this is what your mortgage rate would be, and your monthly payment. Also, we talk about the down payment assistance, but it's just not including that. You have to include teaching them how to understand why to hire a realtor, how to go apply, not just for a loan, but what type of loan, why you want to go with this loan versus that loan, and give them the conversation, a safe space where they can ask the questions, where if they were going into a lender's office, they wouldn't feel comfortable. And one of the things we do, we bring our lenders to our workshops. So, and they set up and they get to have conversations with them that if I was going into a bank and I'm scared that you're going to judge me, where now you are in a safe place, you can talk to these lenders, you can learn the difference between a conventional loan and a FHA loan, and ask questions, but not just ask questions, get rid of the myths. You know, one thing is the mindset, but another thing is the hearsay. And so once you get rid of the hearsay, you can break down a lot of walls. And I think that's a secret that the agencies have, that when we get to connect with our clients and connect our clients with our partners and build that rapport, then they understand, and then now they get to see it, and then they get to share it. And so now you have a healthier story being told to their peers and to their family members, and they want it, and then you can see the domino effect.
Okay, that makes sense.
Part of the power. Go ahead, Letania.
I find that people believe these programs are just for a certain income. BJ, are you open to all incomes?
Yes, ma'am. We are open to all incomes.
Okay. And that's really good to know.
Of working through agencies, we plug in with our strategic partners like Freddie Mac, Letania's organization. They have a treasure trove of resources that help to educate people so that they can make informed decisions that result in better outcomes. You know, there used to be a retailer, Cy Sims, where informed consumer is his best customer. The banks and the credit unions are in the business of creating home ownership. They don't want to foreclose. That's not their business model.
No.
They make money when you stay in your home.
Correct.
So what happens is, so many times people have a hiccup or some kind of crisis, and when the bank reaches out to them, they avoid all the mailing. The longer you wait, the more problems you will have, the greater the risk is, the more likely you are to lose something. So when you get that correspondence, raise your hand early and often. I got a problem. Let's work it out. I got a problem with it. The bank wants to keep you in your home.
Absolutely. Which is what I was sharing with you before, that I was able to put my payments on the back end, and like those programs really, really saved me. And had I known about this particular program, I would have reached out. I was calling any and everybody.
And that's my point. I just wonder if people, do they know how to access these programs?
Right.
And what do we need to do to market these programs better?
Absolutely. Well, this is the first step. I mean, just letting people know and letting them hear the discussion, because a lot of people don't realize that there are other people in a similar situation. A lot of people feel like they're alone on this island by themselves, and they don't know that there are other people out there that they can talk to. Somebody that has a similar story like Hermond's, or someone has a similar story to mine, or even someone who just doesn't know anything about credit at all, that just wants to take that first step, the first leap. So this is the first step, paving it forward. I appreciate you all coming on today. And again, if you're just joining us, my name is Asia. I'm your host from Urban One, and I'm here today with some very, very great panelists to talk about credit. It's all being brought to you by the NFCC, which is the National Foundation for Credit Counseling. And so we hope that you're able to gain a little bit of information from our discussion today. We're going to just piggyback and pick up right where we left off. We were just talking to you, Letania. I'm going to go back to BJ. We were talking about having a faith-based program and being sought after, and you yourself and your personal experiences as well as the agencies. How do you find the clients feel when they learn more about your programs? I mean, are they more receptive to it having being faith-based, or talk to us a little bit about that?
I'm gonna say both. We are in the process of doing actually a pastoral breakfast this upcoming Friday. And so with a lot of people not understanding that it's not income driven, that anybody can receive these services. Most of our services are service fee where you may be paying for a credit report, and nothing is where most of it's grant funding. So it's either a low service fee or no service fee at all. It almost seems too good to be true. So you have to show them and then help them become the word of mouth and track and saying, hey, yes, I went over here, and that we're not going to be in a situation where we're preaching to you or we're using any, it's again, non-judgmental. I tell people, I myself went through the program. I started off as a partner and sat in the workshop and was like, how can I hold my clients responsible? And I'm struggling with some of the same things. And so I became a partner, then a client, and then I became an employee. So a lot of times when I tell that story, they say, you did a program? I say, yes. And I tell them who was my former housing counselor. And I even tell the story. It took a moment for my husband, because most African males don't want to talk about money.
Right.
But that was the secret. Once he came in, we had to do a few more things, and we were able to get approved for our home. And so having those transparent moments, asking them to have their transparent moments once they become approved, or once they increase their credit score, or once, whatever service you were coming in and you reached that first short-term goal, let's stop and celebrate it. And if you're choosing to take it to a spiritual level, then we're going to take it to that spiritual level, and we're going to take it to the next level, and we're going to celebrate it. And if we want to go to the front of the church, we're going to the front of the church, as the old deaconess used to do. Yeah. So I think, again, it's meeting them where in their comfort level.
Yes.
Presenting who we are, and then moving forward.
I love that. Yep. I love that. We have a few people joining us today. We have Terry joining us today. We have Pixie joining us, and Jonathan also joining us in the chat. Pixie, I have one question. I'll direct this one to Hermond. She says, is there a fee to have or initiate the service?
It depends. It depends on the agency that you come through. Typically, as BJ indicated, this work is grant funded. So where we can, there's typically not a fee, but if there is, it's going to be a nominal fee. It might be $50 or something like that. All right. So in some cases, it depends on where you are and how the grant funding is flowing.
Okay. All right. Barry, we want to talk to you about the interaction of the agencies. You shared with us a little bit about that before, but why is the faith-based alliance important to the NFCC and its member agencies?
So, Asia, I think it's all about reaching folks deep within communities that we're trying to help. I think someone mentioned earlier that oftentimes people don't know about the availability of counseling services. They may have never heard about the NFCC. And as Hermond and BJ mentioned earlier, having pastors that are connected to the community help us to get that message across that, hey, we're here to help you. We want to help you. Come see us. I think is crucial. And so we work with our member agencies through this alliance, through the congregations that are a part of the faith-based alliance, and it's open to all faiths, no particular faith. but we know that churches and synagogues and mosques are important parts of communities. And so it's just a matter of using that vehicle, that platform to get the message out, to draw people in that could benefit from our services.
Can I add on to that?
Yes, Hermond, same question, please.
Sure. It helps us, it provides a business model that we can use to promote the availability of counseling in a very credible way. It's very indicated. A lot of people don't know who the NFCC is.
No.
And so as a result, we don't necessarily have a foundation of trust.
Mm-hmm.
But by working through the faith-based community, where the pastors have baptized you, christened you, married you, funeralized you, blessed your home, they have a rich history and trust. And in many cases, they are viewed as members of the family. And people understand that any resource they bring forward is trustworthy. And so we recognize that this partnership, when you think about all the movements that have been significant in the Black community, oftentimes it's been come through or been a partnership with the faith-based community. Mm-hmm. So that's huge. The other piece is that it gives us an opportunity to meet people where they are.
Right.
People might suffer in silence and shame, but when they're really desperate, they may go to the church. And so that's when you have the availability to connect people with the resource to address that need. Our desire is that we connect early. So we have more options that are available, more solutions that we can bring forward to address that challenge that they're going through. The other piece for us is it allows us to tap into subject matter experts. If you go on to nfcc.org and you hit the search bar and you bring up faith-based, and you hit the faith-based and you look at the bottom, you will see presentations that we've had as a result of this effort. And there'll be presentations on insurance, tax prep, wills and estate planning. Barry himself gave a great one on student loans. So if you want to see kick the tires before you engage, go check it out. nfcc.org, search faith-based and look at the presentations and look at the content of the information that's discussed. And you'll see why we're excited, because we are having those types of conversations in a safe environment that people need to talk about, but don't necessarily know where to go.
Yeah. Right. And I'm glad you mentioned that, Hermond. I mentioned that one-on-one counseling services are available, but we do group presentations and workshops and those types of things too. And as Hermond mentioned, there are a number of those that are available for anyone to come to our site and view. And there's some good tips on a variety of different financial subjects that we believe would be beneficial for those that watch.
Right. And it's not just about us, it's about our partner. Letania, her organization, Freddie, they go out and they're in the community all day, every day, uplifting, enriching, and providing information. Information we know is power. Right. We need to be powerful. Right. We know the old African proverb says, if you want to go fast, go alone. Right. If you want to go far, go together. Right. We know we need to go far, and we know we are better together. Right. This is about bringing us together so that we can go far to the possible.
I like that.
Right. Jonathan has a great question. He says, is there an age as to how early someone can start? Can you start as early as 17, 18? I think that's a perfect age.
Yes.
Absolutely. I think we need to start educating our children as young as middle school. Here's what we have to realize. Back in the day when I was young, years ago, I would go to the bank with my mother or my grandmother whenever they wanted to get money, and I would see them putting the money in. I would see them taking the money out. Now with automatic deposit and whatnot, all the children see is us going to the ATM and taking the money out. They don't see how it goes in. Yeah. And so I had a friend say, their daughter came up and said, hey, I need some cash. He said, well, I'm light today. He said, well, just go to the ATM. That's when he knew.
Yeah.
I need to fix this. Right. We need to see. So the younger you can, and then we have to educate, making a choice. Every dollar is your employee. And when you give it away, you basically fire that employee to go work for somebody else. You want to keep as many employees working for you. I like mailbox money. I like making money when I'm asleep, when I'm on vacation. So I try to keep my employees working for me. We need to instill that message in our young people at an early age so that they understand the opportunity cost of you buying that means you'll have less to do X.
Hermond, can I add something? Because
Sure.
our children, they are looking at everything we do.
They do.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's a global study that shows 58% of people, they learn from their parents. So the question becomes, what are we teaching our youth? If we want things to be better for them, let's invite them to BJ's class. Let's bring them Hermond and show them how to make the money. Like you always tell me, you have to accumulate the wealth, then you got to preserve it. We got to show them how. I mean, Asia, I would love to hear your story profile on how you acquired all these properties. It's Wealth Building 101 that our high school students need, our elementary students need to see. So if I don't buy a house, what's another way for me to build wealth? What's another way for me to figure out the game? How do I play in this? So that's a great question.
And it's important for young Black girls and young Black boys. Like this, anybody can do this.
Yeah.
If you have a vision, if you have commitment and discipline. So I'm sorry, I get excited. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, and I hear the excitement, and we appreciate the excitement. You know, what I wanted to share with people is that credit it's often always changing. So I remember when I first started in the game, you could go into the bank and get what was called a signature loan. If you say those words to somebody now, they're like, "What's that?" I was like, "That's this amazing power." It was this superpower I had because I could walk into the branch and I'd be like, "I need $10,000," and they'd be like, "Okay, Miss Chandler," and I'd be like, "What?" And they gave me a check. I was amazed. You can't do that anymore.
Oh no. No.
You can't do that anymore. But I said that to say that credit is always changing. And so even if you feel like you know a lot about things, I still think you need to take these classes just to kind of know what is current. What do you think about that? Anyway.
I totally agree because you're right. Changes to the credit system, you know, how credit scoring is done, it happens. And so I encourage people, you know, read what you can, take advantage of resources like those from NFCC member agencies, learn as much as you can, watch the financial news in the evening. You'll gain a lot of insight that way also. But yeah, we live in a ever-changing society, and it's important that you stay up to breast on what's current.
One of the things that I'm trying to do, Asia, within our agency is go into organizations where I call them my 3 tiers. I can serve the staff, I can serve the parents, and I can serve the students. So going to nonprofit after school programs, going to the school boards, and making those partnerships, because that way now you have a community of learning the same information at the same time on their levels, that you hopefully can see a pathway of resources being passed down or through the different individuals. And then that way now our young children are learning. I like to tell my parents, if we school your students and your children see you not changing your behaviors, they're going to hold you accountable. So it's one thing to say, hey, we're going to go on a budget, but then they see you randomly stopping the Burger King. But when they want to stop the Burger King, it's not a part of the budget, and they're going to call you out on it. So be careful what you tell them that you're going to do. But we need accountability, and we can learn from our children. And because our children are such in a digital world, teaching them this information, they're going to gain it quicker because they're going to go and Google it, or they're going to go find an app to almost confirm what we're trying to teach them. And then they're going to come back and they're going to be able to say, well, I learned this. How is that going to affect me or help me? So it's an opportunity out there. We just have to be intentional of developing those pathways that we can talk to each tier of those that affects those children.
I love that. Once again, you are watching Paving the Way Forward. It is a program brought to you by the NFCC, the National Foundation for Credit Counseling. I'm your host, your Radio Love Asia with Urban One DC, and we have a great great team of panelists joining us today. If you need more information, please dial 833-691-6299. Again, that's 833-691-6299, and we will share the website at the end of the program. We do have someone who chimed in today. Brian has a question for BJ Beaman. He says, do you have any information on estate planning?
I'm going to let Hermond start off with that, and then
Okay.
I will.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. So I asked people to go to our website early on, nfcc.org. Go to the search bar, hit faith-based, and go scroll down to the videos. There's one video specifically on wills and estate planning. The presenter was Amy Griffin. She's an attorney out of DMV. Amazing session. And we talk about the importance of having your financial toolkit, which includes your will, your trust, your medical directive, and your power of attorney. Those four things you need to have.
Right.
Understand: will, trust, medical directive, power of attorney.
Okay.
It's important because right now in our society, we are undergoing the largest transfer of wealth in human history. And so many African Americans in particular, 70% of Black folk don't have a will.
Right.
And that, because of that, we lose so much of our real property, our homes, our ancestral homes. We have businesses shut down because our partner dies, but they didn't specify how they wanted their ownership to be transferred or managed. And so businesses have to close because there's bickering between the survivors and the partners, and business can't get done. So that's critically important.
It is.
Hopefully
It is.
that helped answer that question.
And so from the agency standpoint, what we try to do is not so much host the workshops, but provide the resources. So making partnership with estate planners or coordinators or attorneys, and bringing them in to present and begin that what it takes for you as that individual. Some of the resources are easy, like we have a partnership with a hospice where they bring us the medical directories, and they train the counselors how to help the clients do the medical directories. Okay. But then when you get into the larger end of estate planning, then you have to go get the experts. So what we try to do is host events or workshops where we can bring the experts in to talk about those tiers or those services of estate and heir planning.
Okay.
One other thing is we have to change how we look at estate planning. So many times when we bring the topic up in our families, oh, I don't want to talk about that now. And it never gets talked about. Nothing gets done. And so people don't have a will and whatnot. So we got to transform that and make it an empowering conversation. Like, not when I die, but here's what I want done with my resources to let and lay the foundation for the next generation to build upon and leverage it for greater financial success.
Right. Absolutely. We have a question from Lawrence. Lawrence, I'll send this one out to you, Letania. He asks, are there programs in place after someone purchases a home?
Yes, post-purchase programs exist. You can get information online for free, but I know that BJ, if you wanted to go directly to her agency, because once you purchase that home, you need to really understand, how do I take care of this equity? How do I truly, build this, so that I'm taking care of the law? I'm taking care of, do I have an emergency fund?
Right.
Because something is going to break in the house. Okay? If you don't plan for it, it will be an accident. And what we know is that most people don't have $1,000 to just use for emergencies. So as far as post-purchase training, there's a lot of information, but BJ, I'm sure you have a specific class. And one thing I always tell people, after you have purchased your home, every year or every quarter, call your utility companies, find out what discounts are available, find out, are you getting the best deal for your money? And I mean, Hermond, he's always preaching. I mean, Barry could show you different ways, but I know BJ's got an entire course for us.
Okay. BJ, same question.
So we do, in the process, we have a program called Keys to Home Ownership. And so we have the pre-purchase, the closing, and then post-purchase. And in post-purchase, Just like Ms. Letania was just saying, we take into everything. Do you need a home warranty? One of the things I tell my single mothers or single women, if you're not going to cut the grass, we need to take it in consideration. Who's going to cut the grass? If you're not able to do repair work, let's set up the budget for maintenance. And then we come in and then we try to find again, and I'm real big on collaboration, resources who, you can have that reliable handyman, not someone who says, hey, I know how to do some plumbing, but let's find the best 3 plumbers that are cost effective, that are licensed and certified. And then let's say, okay, let's get an average of what their prices are so we can put it aside. Or would a home warranty work out better for you because you're not the type of person that might like to save? And I tell them, you know your strengths and weaknesses. So when it comes to post-purchase, know your strengths and weaknesses, because the home is going into how we take care of this house that we have now is what's going to determine how we should move and how we should set your budget up. And just knowing what your goals are. I tell them, look at your house in a 5-year span. Know when it's going to be time for you to get ready to get that insurance inspection. And if you know you have to get ready to do a roof, then we need to prepare for that. So we know a roof needs to be done every 10 years. So let's put that in a 10-year long-term plan that I know I have to get ready to do a roof every 10 years in Florida. So just knowing your state policies, knowing your home association policies and bylaws, and then knowing what your wants are for your home.
Mm-hmm. I love
So
that.
we try to set all that up for them.
Good advice.
BJ, another thing I think people should look into are the taxes. Figuring out if there are any homestead exemptions for them. I mean, sometimes people don't realize you have a senior living with you. A senior may be a part of your deed, and you're not getting that tax advantage that you should be getting for that. So they're just little things that going to these classes, going online, and just doing that little bit of extra research, it will keep money in your pocket so you can use it the way you want to use it for your families.
And we also tell them, if they find out some good information like that, bring it back to us so we can go do our research. Because I'm going to live that one up.
Knowledge is power.
Right. Absolutely. This next question is for Barry. Barry, who is eligible or who should be interested in participating in the NFCC's Faith-Based Alliance?
I say it's open to everyone. We'd like every congregation that is interested in empowering their congregations and communities to be a part of this. Any consumer that desires to live a better financial life through financial education and counseling, open to them. It's wide open. Anyone that want to participate, we want you part of this program.
Here's another example. Fraternities and sororities can participate because we know they are civic minded. We know they serve the community. We know they do incredible good. They can be the legs that spread the word in the community and set up sessions and set up events to help build awareness and engagement through the church and other nonprofits. So it's not like we're claiming this is just us. It's a program that's meant to start a movement for the community to achieve the full potential of our financial and educational knowledge so that we can have the best outcomes possible.
Absolutely. That leads me to my next question, Hermond. How are the topics of your faith-based presentations actually determined, and by who, and why is this important?
So because this is a program meant for the people, a lot of it comes from our attendees and our audience. At the end of our virtual presentation, there's a survey. And one of the questions is, what other information, what other topics would you like to see us address going forward? Because we got to meet the people where they are and provide them and feed them the information that they need. Another source is our strategic partners, because they may have new programs, new products that are compelling and help to address the need that's out there. We also look at the trends that we're seeing played out as reported by HUD, Freddie Mac, and other sources. We also look at the demands that our agencies are having sessions for. So during the pandemic, foreclosure and eviction prevention. That was a really hot topic, and it's still hot. So that's going to be something that we present on. We talk about, we see the loss of home ownership or reduction in home ownership because people are losing properties. Well, that leads us to wills and estate planning to make sure you have a plan in place for an untimely demise, that it doesn't just leave the family, that people have a plan so that there's not bickering and infighting. When people die, that's when a lot of families break up because people didn't take the time to put their thoughts and wishes in writing. And so people are left to say, well, Big Mama wanted me to have that. And, man wanted me to, no. I mean, just take the time and lay it out. We got names for ourselves. I know. And so, and they come out at the end. So that's how we come up with topics.
Not Big Mama. That's cute.
This is not going to be one of those stiff panels. We're going to keep it real.
And Barry, how can faith-based organizations and consumers find out more information about the NFCC and the Faith-Based Alliance?
Yeah, again, we recommend you go to nfcc.org/faith-based, or as Hermond says, you can go to NFCC website and just put in the search bar faith-based, and they can find out more information that way. We're also scrolling our telephone number, which is 833-691-6299 for the faith-based initiative. Feel free to reach out to us that way as well.
I love that. And Hermond, I'm going to wrap it up with you. Would you like to add any additional information?
First, I want to thank the panelists. Thank you all. I want to thank our wonderful moderator, Asia. Thank you for this. I want to thank Urban One. I want to explain that the NFCC, National Foundation for Credit Counseling, we are a trade organization for our member agencies. So part of our responsibility is to create these types of programs to elevate the availability of counseling for our member agencies.
Yeah.
So this is an example of the work that we do. So you're not going to be counseled by Barry or myself. You'll be counseled by our member agencies, BJ Beaman and others like her. So I want to make sure people understand that. But I want people to understand this program is meant specifically for you. And it would not be possible. I got to shout out our sponsors. Freddie Mac has been a wonderful partner. Wells Fargo has been a wonderful, amazing partner, and TD Bank has been wonderful. Because they have provided us with grants, we are able to pay for the counseling that results from elevating the profile of the availability of this program. And please, don't let your pride get you put outside. By that, I mean, don't let shame and embarrassment make you say, oh, I'm not going to do that because they don't know my business. So many times I've heard Black folks say, well, Black folk don't do counseling. 2 questions. Who said that?
Who?
And why not?
Right.
Because it's stupid.
Yeah.
If you had a toothache, would you go to the dentist if money wasn't an issue? Yes.
Right.
If you had a problem with your car and you live 30 miles away from your job, nobody lives around you, there's no public transportation, are you going to walk or are you going to get that car fixed with a subject matter expert? Counseling is the same thing. Think of it, if counseling is a nasty word, don't like that word, use coach.
Yeah.
Your financial coach.
Right.
They put together a program specifically for you. Take advantage of this.
Yes.
And do it now. Don't wait.
Yes. Don't let your pride get you put outside.
It's
I'm putting that
cold
on a
out.
t-shirt. I'm gonna have that on a t-shirt when next time you see me. Don't let your pride get you put outside.
It's so cold. It's just chilly.
Don't get him started.
We're gonna all wear t-shirts.
I'm gonna give all listen to all of you. Each one of you will have one.
I love it.
Oh my gosh, this has been a complete joy. I want everyone to please let everybody know how they can follow you on social media. Barry, I'll start with you. How could they actually find you and reach out to you if they need to?
Yeah, so we are available on all social media platforms, Facebook, LinkedIn, and others. You can do a Google search, National Foundation for Credit Counseling, or NFCC, faith-based. You'll find us that way. We're prominently displayed on all of the various search engines. So look us up. I mean, we're here to help you. We invite people to come see us. You know, if you've got a concern that's financial related, come see us. Let us help you.
Absolutely. Hermond, how can they find you? Everybody's going to hit you up for a t-shirt after this. So how can they reach out to you?
Well, you can hit me on LinkedIn, but again, what Barry provided, you'll get to us that way, nfcc.org, and the number, call that number or hit that link and you'll find us, and we're ready, willing, and able to help.
Okay. BJ, how can we reach out to you in Florida?
So for the agency, we are www.familyfoundations with the S on the end.org. And my professional handle is at BJ Beaman.
Okay. And Letania, how can we reach out to you on social media and things like that?
LinkedIn, definitely. My name, Letania Gonzales. But I would definitely invite you to FreddieMaxCreditSmart.com. Please go ahead and take a look at it. It's a free financial capability tool. You can use it on your phone. You can use it at your computer. Get that information.
Okay. And for everybody watching, we have one thing that we want everyone to take away. I'm going to start with you, Barry. What do you want everyone to take away from this segment today?
Know that help is available. Seek help sooner rather than later. Don't wait. Reach out, get the assistance that you need.
Hermond, what do you want people to take
away?
Be
excited. Be excited because there are a number of programs that are available for you to improve your situation. Be excited because we have committed organizations who want to help you achieve your goals. Be excited because organizations like Freddie Mac, Wells Fargo, TD Bank, National Foundation for Credit Counseling, Urban One, we are all committing to your success. But you have to take the first step. You have to commit to yourself and have the courage to step out on faith and take advantage of what's being offered to you.
BJ, what do you want people to take away?
I would like you to take away, if your money's not right, your mind's not right. And if your mind's not right, your money's not right. So let's jump and get our money right.
Okay, y'all got all these t-shirts saying today. I'm having to fall down. That's another t-shirt coming your way. And Letania, last but not least, what do you want everyone to take away today?
Wealth is a personal journey. So figure out where to get started, but just get started today.
I love that. I love that. Once again, everyone, if you're just joining us, you are watching Paving the Way Forward. It's a program brought to you by the NFCC, the National Foundation for Credit Counseling. Joining me today, we have Barry Coleman. He's the Vice President and Program Management of Education. We also have Hermond Palmer, the Vice President of Outreach and Inclusion for the National Foundation of Credit Counseling. Also joining us, Barbara BJ Beaman, the Financial Wellness Program Manager for Family Foundation of Northwest Florida Incorporated, and Letania Gonzales, Housing Outreach Manager for Freddie Mac. I'm so pleased and honored to have been your host today. I'm your Radio Love Asia from Urban One DC. You can follow me at Always Ask Asia on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Again, that's Always Ask Asia. And if you need more information about all these amazing programs, please feel free to reach out directly at 833-691-6299. Again, that number is 833-691-6299. Or you can reach them at www.nfcc.org/faith-based. Again, the number is 833-691-6299. And the website, one more time, is nfcc.org/faith-based. Oh man, this has been so much fun. I just love hanging out with y'all. We could talk for hours and hours and hours, right? We all got stories, testimonies. I'm hoping that people actually took something away from this. I'm hoping that your phones blow up beyond measure and that you get all these people signing up. Terry actually signed up. She said that she just registered. Pixie actually said that they registered. We have Lawrence that said that they're also interested. So we have people chiming in. You're touching people's lives today. So you'll know that, and you can sleep well tonight knowing that you did a good job today.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And churches, reach out. If you want to join, reach out to us.
Yes. Churches, organizations, HBCUs, and you said
mosques,
all age
temples,
ranges.
We're here.
Right? You said all age ranges, so we need some schools to reach out, right? We need high schools, junior high schools.
Student loans are a big thing. So
right. I wonder how we could get that implemented into actual school curriculum. How can we get financial literacy? I know there's some amazing schools in the DMV area. Like I just did a fundraiser for a school called Legends Charter School, and they have a financial literacy program. But I'm wondering how we can actually get that into actual curriculum into schools. That would be something interesting, right?
Let's research that. Let's try to figure that out.
We got to pray that into existence.
Yes.
I love the fact that this is faith-based. I think everything we do in life needs to be faith-based.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Everything always goes smoother when God's hand is on it. So
yes,
yeah, that's how it works in my life.
Don't get Pastor Palmer over there started.
What?
It's a church.
Again, it's been a pleasure, y'all. Thank you so much for joining us today. Y'all stay blessed and remember to keep paving the way forward.
Thank you.
Thank you. Stay blessed, all.
Thank you.